Hi everybody, Jessie here from jessiebanks.com, and today I have a little bit of a different video for you guys. I'm going to do my review on, this is my Schmicke Horadam Aquarelle watercolors. I bought the 48 half-pound set, so I have the biggest set they have. You definitely don't need this set, and I purchased this, I saved for 2 years to get myself this set. Pardon my finger, I cut it on a butcher knife, but I saved for 2 years in order to get this watercolor set. You definitely don't need to start out this big. You definitely don't need this quality. This was the first set I got, and this is a Winsor & Newton. It's just a Cotman travel set. There's a little water well that's, I'm not sure where it is right now, but I've used it lots. I mean, there's still lots of paint in it, and I'm definitely not finished with it. I do let my son play with it, and I take it to classes, and so I still love this. This is a great set. Cotman's definitely fantastic watercolors. It's just not what we're talking about today. If you guys like my thoughts and opinions on this, let me know down below. And then I've got this one as well, and this is just a palette that I filled, and it's got Core, Daniel Smith, and this is just one Cotman color in here. Oh, and there's one Mission color in here as well. So this is just I filled it myself, and it's just got a few colors in it, and I love this palette too. I use it quite a bit. I just recently refilled it again, actually, so. And there's some white gouache over here, but. So I can definitely talk about different kinds of watercolors and stuff. I'm kind of a watercolor junkie. I have all sorts of things. I have a couple other videos planned that I'm going to get filmed now, especially since I dropped my microphone and broke it. So voiceovers aren't exactly an option for the time being. Hopefully, beginning of the week, I'll get a chance to stop in and grab a microphone so that I can voice those over, because I have 3 or 4 videos waiting. But anyway, what we're here for. This is my Schmicke Horadam watercolor set. It doesn't look like I've touched them, but I've been using this set for over a year. And they're fantastic. This is like, I love Daniel Smith, and I've been putting my money away now to save to get a whole bunch of Daniel Smith watercolors on top of this, but this was what I wanted first and foremost, so I saved up for 2 years, and I purchased the 48 half-pound set. I think it's like $375 US on Dick Blick's, and that's where I picked mine up from. So yeah, I love it. I think it's fantastic. But I am going to swatch everything for you here to start. So I've made this. The black line is just for transparency factor for you guys, and I'm going to go follow each row across, and we're going to swatch them all. I will insert a picture at the end where I'll put all the names of all the colors on my swatch sheet here. I am actually going to switch these sides, I think. As long as the shadow's not... No, I can't. The shadow's too bad over there. Okay. I'm filming in my living room, so... But... So yeah, so I'll definitely upload a picture at the end once it dries and put all of the names on it. So what I have is just a piece of paper towel to dab my brush off in between colors. I'm going to swatch everything using this, which is just Princeton Art Brush Company. It is a synthetic brush, and it's around number 6. I love these brushes. They're gorgeous. And I really enjoy them, so I have that. And then we'll do some samples and things afterwards. This is a just a Strathmore watercolor book. So yeah, it's my new one, so I've got that, so I can do some other stuff afterwards. So as I go through, I'm going to tell you what the colors are for now, but we will definitely I will definitely make sure you guys have all the names at the end. So this is the gold color. I should have sprayed these before we started. They re-wet really easy. I find that I have to work a little harder for these 2 metallic ones, but that's perfectly fine. And their gold and silver really aren't anything to write home about. They're not fantastic, but they definitely do their job and what I want them to do. So that's the gold. Then we have silver. So Schmicke's big thing is when you buy their half pans, or you go in and you buy their tubes, it's the exact same paint. So when they do this, I think they pour 3 or 4 3 or 4 times in order to fill a half pan because it's the exact same paint that they put in their tube. And they're the only company that does that. I'm going to zoom in here on my sample sheet and just pull my watercolors off to the side. I think it's more important to be able to see the swatches as opposed to the actual watercolor pan here. So that's their big thing is, so when you go to replace your colors, you're getting the exact same paint. A lot of places, they make their paint a lot thicker. It's a slightly different formula, and then they cut them into cakes where these are poured pans out of the exact same paint. This is titanium whites. And I am swatching everything on, so it's very opaque. I'm swatching everything on, this is, oh, I can't even think tonight. This is Arch's 140 pound cold press watercolor paper. So then we have China whites. Oh, it's permanent China white. Chinese whites is what they call theirs. So this one is a much more transparent white. So depending on what you're after. I do have white wash that I have with me all the time just for when I want to add really strong white highlights to anything. This is lemon yellow. And then we have cadmium yellow. I do enjoy when I do swatches of any watercolors, putting that black line in there with a solid black marker. I do believe I use my Copic for that, actually. Nobody who's a Copic fiend like me, please don't hurt me for that. But that's what I used. So this is translucent yellow. But I do enjoy putting that black line in there. I know that you can find these sorts of reviews and things all over the place. I just wanted them for my channel. Hoping that anybody gets any interest out of it. I definitely have lots of other watercolors. Like I said, I'm going to do a few more for you guys. I hope you enjoy them. If you don't enjoy them, let me know and I'll probably stop. This is Indian yellow. Chrome Yellow Deep is next. So these paints, they're heavenly. I did lots of research before I decided which watercolors I was going to buy. And I was actually going back and forth between these and the Mayberry ones. And I ended up going with these simply because there was a lot more information out there on them, and a lot more people had them, and I could learn a lot more just by watching YouTube and reading blogs and things like this. So this is Chrome Yellow, or Chrome Orange, pardon me. That was Chrome Yellow. One moment. But yeah, so I went with these simply, like I said, because I could find lots of information and lots of people use them and they're gorgeous. I'm so happy with this purchase. They were worth every penny I spent on them. They will last me forever, but that's alright. So I enjoy how easy, like I said, the pans re-wet so fast. Like when I'm doing this, I'm taking my water and I'm going into my pan and that's all I'm taking. So they re-wet super well, and I do that and then I'm just blending them out so that you kind of get a fade of color here. Right? That's all I'm doing for all of my samples here. I'll do some blooming and that kind of stuff after we swatch all of these. That was Cadmium Red Light. Oh, this was Translucent Orange and that was Cadmium Red Light. So the next color is Scarlet Red. They're gorgeous. Oh, I know I keep saying that, but they really are. Schmicke's been around forever. Forever. So when they do their pans, I know it takes months in order for them to make a single half pan of color. This is deep red. Because like I was saying, they pour it with the same paint that their half pans are made out, or that their tubes are from. So they pour it and then they put it in a drying chamber and let it dry, and then they pull it out and pour some more, and so on and so forth until they have a full pan. This is Madder Red Dark. This is one of my favorite colors because it's stunning. Sounds like somebody setting fireworks off outside my house. Permanent Carmine. I bought these not simply just for card making. I use them for my card making. I mean, I've bought and paid for them. I might as well use them. Next up is Magenta. It's one of my most used colors. But I enjoy watercolor sketching. I take my paints with me everywhere I go. So the purchase for me served more than just card making. Honestly, unless you really, really want them and you love watercolor painting your images and that, you can do fine with Peerless watercolors or something of that nature. I will be doing a video on those coming up here very soon. Now that I finally did this one that I've been telling people I would do forever. This is Manganese Violet, and purples are very disappointing to me in watercolors. I find that they either lay really, really dead, or I just can't get the color payoff I want out of the paint. Like, it's gorgeous, and it's a beautiful purple. It's not bright and vivid enough for me. I tend to take this color and mix some magenta with it quite often when I use it. Personal opinion. Next one is Ultramarine Violet, which is blue, by the way. It's got a purple hue, like, base to it, but it's a blue color. It's not a purple. I do believe that's basically the only purple in the thing, in the entire set, and it's definitely not my favorite. I have one in this other, or look, they're all popping out. I have a couple in here that I prefer more. I'll go through this tray with you guys in another video and what I have in there and why I have those colors in there, but it's just not my favorite purple by any stretch of the imagination. This is Delft Blue. Deep, deep blue. Yeah, somebody's seriously setting fireworks off. They are. And then we have Indigo. So far out of all the swatches we've done, the only color I am disappointed in is the purple. And you can see as it's drying out how it seems to be getting a lot lighter and kind of fading. It seems really dull. It's dull. It's a dull color, I guess. This is called, the next one's Ultramarine Finest. That's what they call this one. There is a big downfall in this. There is no cobalt blue in this line of, like, in this half pan set. I'm not sure why I have cobalt blue. That's why I have cobalt blue in there in my Cotton line, because I haven't bought it in a professional series tube yet. But that's kind of surprising to me that there's no cobalt blue, which is, yeah. This is Mountain Blue. And I actually do find that I open up that set for that cobalt blue quite often just because there isn't one in here. So Prussian Blue. Probably my favorite blue out of the entire set is this Prussian Blue. I love how bright and vivid it is. And then we have Phthalo Blue. one, cerulean blue turquoise, I do believe. This one's very pretty as well. The next color I really like for my cards. I don't use it as much in my sketching or watercolor paintings, but I do love it for my card making, and that is the, oh crud. Okay, I made a mistake here. Let's find a multi-line liner, and I apologize. This is the Helio Turquoise. So these two are switched in my pan, and I will probably just switch them around when I put this inside of here so that I have it with me. That was my mistake, not paying attention, talking to you guys. So this was the Helio Turquoise, which is my all-time favorite color. This next one, wow, they're all my favorites. I like color. This one is the Cerulean Blue Turquoise. I was thinking that's a little bit more teal than I remember it being when I paint with it. So they're both very pretty. This one's greener, that one's bluer. This is the one I use in my card making all the time. This is Cobalt Turquoise. I'll show you guys the pan. It's this one here. And I think it's stunning, but it's, yeah, it's one of my favorites, like I said, in my card making. It reads very minty to me, so I like using it in my card making. And then I have Prussian Green. I wonder if those people setting off fireworks know a police officer moved in just down the street. If they don't, they might find out fairly soon. But anyway, so then we have Phthalo Green. And I know lots of people say this is a really big set for traveling with, but I travel with a Copa case like all the time, so really this watercolor set is tiny compared to what I usually travel with. May Green, which I use lots. It's another bright, I like bright colors. I'm drawn to them. I know lots of people really like earth tones and all that kind of stuff, but I need bright. That's why I bought this big set. 'Cause I'm like, I need all the colors. Cobalt Green Dark is next. And you definitely don't. I'm not telling you have to, spend $400 on a watercolor set. You definitely do not. I'm just a gotta have it all type person. So. And then we have Permanent Green Olive. And Olive Green Yellow is next. This is a very earthy green that I like a lot. Okay, and I think this is pronounced Jaune. It's Jaune, Brilliant Dark. And I use this, I mix this in with my skin tones quite often. I don't use them flat, just by themselves. I find I need to have a little more life in my skin tones when I do paint skin tones in watercolor. But I do use that color in it. And then this is Naples Yellow. I do not like the Schmicke Naples Yellow, or Schmicke, however you want to pronounce it. I don't care for it. I definitely prefer the Daniel Smith, and I have it in that other palette I showed you guys. I have a personal preference to it over this one. And then I have, now we're on the bottom row here. You're probably sick of me blathering about how pretty I think all of these are. This is Light Ochre. And then we have Naples Yellow Red. I do use this in mixed in with my skin tones. Again, it's a way more peachier color. It's like a warmer, fleshy. Again, I don't use it straight. Normally, I tend to mix it in with other colors. And I have a burnt sienna. Madder brown. Which does not like to move as much as the other colors, as I have noticed just using it in my everyday stuff. And I fight with it regularly because I really enjoy the color. It just doesn't like to cooperate with me. This is Venetian Red. Now we're getting a bit more like into a brick red. And then we have Indian Red. Burnt umber. A little bit more water to get enough color. So these are definitely like now into our earth tone colors. I love them. This brown is just, there's so much life in these colors. So much. They're wonderful. I like pigment. I tell people that. They ask me what my favorite sepia brown is next. They ask me what my favorite like medium is. And I'm like, I just like things that make color. Things that make color make me happy. And then I have neutral tint. Which is like a very purpley gray. I use this one lots. I think it's very ghost-like, and they're all pretty. I was gonna say pretty again, but they're all pretty. This is Payne's Gray Bluish, so it's definitely heavy on the blue side of Payne's Gray. This color will travel forever, and a little tiny bit of it will go a ton of ways. And that's another one I use lots, especially when I'm watercoloring like an image for a card, to put in my real dark places on everything. So, and the last color I have is Ivory Black. And I prefer a lamp black to an ivory black. Again, that's all personal opinion, and you find those things as you start playing with them more, like playing with watercolors and stuff more, you'll find that you gravitate towards certain things over others. Like I never touch titanium white, I always go for Chinese whites. The last spot here is actually, they have an oxgall in here, which is a wetting agent, and usually what I do when I first get a clean thing of water, which I don't have anymore, but I will dip my brush into it and I will put it in here and I'll go 1, 2, 3, and I put it into my water. And that's all I do with it. That will last me a lifetime and then some. So those are all the colors in here. I'm going to open that back up in a second. I'm not sure why I closed it yet. Whoops. So here is all of our swatches of all the beautiful colors. So that is all the colors that come in the 24 half pan set. And these are the Schmicke Horadam Aquarelle, the artist grade watercolors. So what I like to do when I'm playing with them, I love how they react. So here's my little sketchbook here. To a blank page. Don't spill your water. But what I like is I can go in and wet. I should grab a bigger brush. Hang on, let me grab a bigger brush. Same brand, I just moved up to a size 8. You guys probably can't see the big wet spot on the piece. Oh yeah, you can. So you take like a big wet spot like that, and we'll go into this helio turquoise color. I'm just gonna get some of that on my brush, and you drop it in, and you watch it move. And I don't have to like dance and turn the paper. And it's just slowly bleeding around. Let's zoom in here. There. But it does gorgeous things. And I like to come in and play with colors. See, this is where you can see how I don't care for this. I've loaded up this brush. There is a ton of purple paint on this brush. And it's just like... it jumps in there nice and vibrant, but as it blends itself out, it just kind of dulls right down. But it blooms beautifully. It's just, it's not as bright and vivid as I want it. Like if I take magenta, look at that. And how it doesn't force the other colors away from it. Like if you look, the purple here pushed everything else away from it. But the magenta went into that helio turquoise and started creating a purple for us. Right? You can take like Payne's Gray and drop some of that in there, and it'll just kind of start sitting. Now there's not nearly as much water on top of the paper. It's all started to soak in now. But you can most definitely go in and get it moving. And they do, they're so pretty. And the wonderful thing about watercolor is until it is dry, until that paper is dry, that color is moving. So it doesn't dry instantly or anything like that. I know you can't really see what's wet anymore. I'm just tipping it so I can see what's wet here. I'll zoom back out a little bit. Then maybe you guys can see a little better. I know my water's dirty, so it probably shows up a little bit better on the camera because I didn't go get clean water like I probably should have. Let's go in and do the English Venetian Red. Now I wet that section, so if I start at the top here and I put in lots of color, see how it just explodes on the paper? Like, that's so pretty. So pretty. I think it's yeah, it's wonderful. You can take it and you can I paint flowers with them all the time, and I sketch all sorts of stuff. I just like color. Rah, I didn't want to run that into that, and I did. Yeah. Dang it. Well, that's alright. So you can take this one. I wish I had a cobalt blue, but I don't. So if I take, say, phthalo blue here, and that's gonna bloom that way too, but that's alright. And the magenta color here. Now I have to put my finger on this just because this is starting to warp. And it's not wanting to run the way I want it to, which is fine. I can coax it. And then they meet in the middle and make purple. They make a really pretty purple. Oh look, I'm completely off screen here. But it's fun to be able to go in with water and just watch what these paints can do. Just as a quick example of a difference, like if I did that there. This is my Cotman watercolors here. I don't have a list of what color is what. I do believe this is like their version of cobalt, but this is like a red color. If I go in and do a similar thing as I did up here with the English Venetian red, I can't get quite as good a pigment payoff. Now that's simply because it is considered a student grade paint as opposed to an artist grade paint. But you can also see how it doesn't explode down the wet spot here like that color did. It slowly starts creeping. It's still very, very pretty. It just doesn't give you the same, it's not as explosive as your artist grade colors are. And they fade a little more when they dry, the Cotman ones I find, as opposed to my Schmickes. Now, like I said, we're talking a $300 set of watercolors in comparison to what? Like a $30 set of watercolors. So it's not a fair battle. See what I mean? Like I'm in here and I am a hole in this pan. And the color payoff that's just not the same. Are they bad paints? Heck no. These two colors don't make pretty colors, but it was just for an example. But yeah, they just don't dance around the paper like my Schmickes do. So I will do, I do have coming up, as soon as I get a new microphone, I will have I gotta set that off to the side and let it dry before I close that book. I will have a painting coming up. I will paint an image for a card for all you card makers out there using these watercolors. It'll be kind of in a similar spec to, I did one with, I used this set and the Cotmans, I do believe both, and I did one from a Craft and Kimmy image. So I will do that again with another image, and I'll use these watercolors for you guys. So that'll be coming up in the I'll say near future. I don't promise near future means the next week or so, but in the near future. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And yeah, those are my crazy expensive watercolors, and I love them to bits and pieces. So I hope you liked the video. Please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, I would love for you to subscribe. I do watercolor, Copic, colored pencils, all sorts of different mediums on cards. I do have full card process videos coming up. Like I said, as soon as I buy a new microphone, because I was a fool and dropped mine on the floor, broke it, and yeah, it's busted, and it's just not a good situation. And it doesn't make me happy. But anyway, I will talk to you all soon. I hope you enjoyed the video, and bye for now.